Namaste and hello. This is Kai. I'm offering these sharings just as so that I don't die with this information in me. I'm primarily making them for my grandkids and their grandkids. I would love to know what my great grandfather was like from his own words. So that's kind of what these things are, and I'm just sharing what I've learned in life so far. So if you can find something useful, by all means, take it and do something with it. If it's not useful for you, well, it's all right. There's plenty of other things to be interested in the metaverse. So I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to talk about at this moment. I decided that I was just going to start the video and see what popped out. So, and I may not know. I went for a walk last night with a friend, and we were just hanging out and seeing what was going on and seeing if there was any. We're in a campground. This is a real nice campground. It's called Craigie Wash, and it's just north of the airport in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. And it's a beautiful place. And as we were walking, we were just chatting about this, that, and the other. And he's just getting into this mobile lifestyle, similar to what I do. He's a mechanic. And so it's like, in a way, it's kind of like watching me way back when I first started living the mobile lifestyle. It's pretty fascinating. You meet some very interesting people out here on the road, and everything from I'm going to say psychic Neanderthals. It's like it's their first time on the planet. It's they've never been in a body before, and they take things very seriously. And then you have the veteran travelers, and the veteran travelers have been through enough experiences that they're usually pretty laid back and calm for the most part. And it's fun to watch people develop that as they move through life. It's a form of maturity. And so we were talking about emotions and how anytime we blame our emotions on anything other than, hey, this is my responsibility. It's my emotion. It's in my head. You can't do anything about it. It's all right here. I'm going to deal with it. If I feel bad, well, that's my lookout. That's none of your business. I'm feeling bad because I'm feeling bad. It's whatever reason I have. But the reality is you may have done, or, somebody may have done something that I didn't like, and so I choose to feel bad after that. But now I'm, as you mature, you kind of get to the point where, well, I don't know about you, but for me, that feeling bad, you just kind of forego that. It's not worth the effort. It takes a lot of power, a lot of energy to feel bad. And why in the heck would you want to do it if you don't have to? And it seems to me, this has been true in my experience, that maturity comes in leaps and bounds, and trickles, but it's in different places in our lives. Like, I am very mature in some ways and very immature in other ways, right? And so there's always something that's seeming to be catching up to the maturity level of who I am, or who this experience of life is. And so the only way to get out of victimhood, okay, it's finally segued into something now. It's just a story up till now. So the only way to get out of victimhood, as far as I can tell, is when we take full responsibility for everything in our lives. Now, I'm an adult, right? I'm 60 years old, And at 60 years old, I've kind of done enough things to know that I could run on autopilot as far as my mind's concerned. I'm generally going to be nice to everybody. Why? Because it's smart. It's smart to be nice to people. Not just being nice to people, but being nice to myself, And I don't have any of these thoughts in my head that say, "Oh, you're a brat, you're a jerk, you're stupid, you're whatever." That stuff went away. And it's taken years upon years upon years. And it's very, very rare that those kind of thoughts come back into my head. They're just not worth thinking. It's a thought not worth thinking. And when we can, I'm trying to get out of that habit of saying, when I'm wanting to talk about something in my experience, I say you. Somehow or another, let's get camaraderie going, but I'm going to say you when I really mean me. So I'm trying to eliminate that from my vocabulary. It's very difficult. 60 years of doing it the other way. But anyway, when we can take full responsibility for who we are, for what we think, for everything that comes into our lives. Now, it means that we can no longer be held a victim. And I mean, I could be shot. I hope not. It's not an experience that I would appreciate, at least from this angle, looking forward to it, to the possibility. That's not something I think I would appreciate. But should that happen, I think I would probably go, "Oh, wow, that's an interesting experience. It's unpleasant," and I would imagine. There's nothing in me that says that getting shot would be pleasant. I've been stabbed, and that wasn't pleasant. But anyway, stuff like that happens. And, one can say, "Oh, poor me, that person made me feel bad." Well, that's a choice we make. As an adult, we can choose to look at something even as drastic as that, or even beyond that, like I would imagine that rape would be something that would be on the same level at least as being shot. And I've met I've met rape survivors who were happy for the rape, not because of the fact that that happened to them, but because of what they learned from it. And so they wouldn't change it if they could, even though it was hell and they had to go through a lot of crap afterwards, therapy and whatnot. They're happy for that. It's kind of like me and the abuse that I suffered as a child. No biggie. There's no sting to it. I'm grateful for that happening. I wouldn't recommend it to my worst enemy. Don't have one, but I couldn't recommend that for anybody. But if something like that were to happen, it's how you look at it. And as an adult, you have that choice. Now, I don't remember getting told that when I was young. I didn't, no one sat me down and said, "Okay, these are your Bill of Rights as an adult," right? And now maybe there was something like that was supposed to happen. But I ran away from home very early. And so I was on the road and I didn't get to go to high school. I have a 9th grade education, but I do have a GED. And so when it comes to no one sat down and said, "Hey, you are now responsible for everything." To me, being an adult meant I got to eat dessert first, and I could eat microwavable dinners for the rest of my life, or something like that. That's and then you have a bunch of bills if you have a house or property or anything like that, and you got to work to keep yourself alive. Yeah, I had all that, but internally, what's the adult Bill of Rights, so to speak? Well, one of them is anything I feel on the inside of my body, that's my doing. Anything I think is my doing. Nobody has any power over that at all. That's all my doing. Now I can loan my power out. I can make unwise decisions about my feelings. Oh, that person did me wrong, so I'm going to hold a grudge. And but why? I mean, think about it. Why hold a grudge? That doesn't make any sense. If you like somebody, hang out with them. If you don't like somebody, just don't hang out with them. It's no biggie. No need to hold a grudge. And we have that opportunity, right? We can choose. I don't want to hold a grudge. I don't want to be against anybody. People can be whoever they want to be, as long as it's not harming me in some way or harming those that I love. Or I'd step in if I saw somebody harming somebody else. But if nobody's being harmed by that activity other than an emotion, oh boy, I'm offended, or you hurt my feelings. Anytime I hear someone say, you hurt my feelings, or you made me mad, or you made me happy, or anything like that, I figure, well, that's an area where they don't realize that they're adults yet. And in that area, they can still be a victim. And we see this on the political stage a lot. People blaming others for how they feel and what they did. And it's kind of like, I'm looking at the political stage of the world, right, or America right now, and I'm seeing a bunch of children playing in a playground, and not even in a playground, because the kids on the playground generally know how to behave, but the kids in the sandbox, the little bitty tiny ones, that's what I'm seeing on the world stage, or the political stage right now. Everybody's blaming everybody else for how they feel and what they're thinking and what they did, and be an adult, man up, or woman up. Basically, take responsibility for what's going on inside your skin. Anything. So, that's how to get rid of victimhood, that feeling of being a victim. So anyway, yeah, the adult Bill of Rights, so to speak. I have the right to feel what I want to feel. I can do that. I don't need your permission or anybody else's permission. That's my lookout. It's totally my choice. So if I want to go through life paranoid, well, that's my choice. If I want to go through life pissed off, that's my choice. If I want to go through life happy, that's my choice. And which, by the way, that's my choice. One of the things I found myself saying frequently is lately is, I'm my best audience. And I watch this form do the things it does. When I was a kid, I may have said this in one of the other videos. I'm not even going to try and keep track of what I'm saying in other videos. I'm just going to share these things because repetition is useful. So if you've heard my stuff before, don't worry about it. It'll pass and there'll be something else coming along. But anyway, I say that I'm my own audience because when I was a kid, I remember very distinctly, about 5 or 6 years old, it's one of my earliest memories, of projecting my consciousness into a bird and looking back at myself from the bird's eye view, right? And as it flew overhead, I imagined, I had a very strong imagination. I imagined looking down at the ground. And now I know what that looks like. But I knew what it looked like back then before I saw it on TV. I think. I can't guarantee that. It's 55 years ago. I'm lucky if I can remember 5 minutes ago. I don't try and put anything in my memory. It's too much work. Unless it's necessary, I'll have something in there. But most of the time, I don't even bother. But I'm too busy with what's going on now around me to worry about what's going on in the past. But anyway, so I would look back at myself from the bird's eye view, and then I would do the same thing to four-legged creatures around me. I'd see a dog looking at me, and I'd project in my mind, I'd project my consciousness into that dog and look back and see what the dog saw, without the judgment of, ooh, that's an ugly human or whatever, just saw the shape of this, and I've just kind of done that all my life. So I've gotten very, very good at projecting myself out of my body and looking back at myself from an exterior point of view. Now, some people might think that's conceited, but that's not the way I experience. The way I experience it is I'd love to people watch. I go to the airport, man. I love airports. Lines, I'm great with lines. I enjoy them. Any place where people are, I just love to people watch. And in this form, I have somebody I can watch 24/7 if I want. I mean, it's a constant television show. This is reality TV right here. And because I have these glasses, here's a practice for you. If you wear glasses, because I wear these glasses, I'm conscious of the frame, right? And have you seen the Blair Witch Project or seen the commercial for it? It's done in the first person. So, it's like a video camera and people jogging around and stuff. Well, that's kind of what's going on here with these glasses as I look out at the world as though I am watching, I am a camera watching what goes on around me. The camera doesn't judge what it sees. It just records it. It notices it. So I notice what's going on around me and within me. Because where I start is somewhere way back in here somewhere. It may not be in the head, I don't know. But, there's something in me that is aware of my thoughts, which shows that my thoughts aren't me. There's something in me that's aware of my emotions, which shows that my emotions are not me. There's something in me that notices this body and the sensations in the body, and which indicates that the body and the sensations in the body are not me. I am that which is aware of it all. So I'm the witness of my existence. And because I'm able to project myself like I do, being an entertainer, that's useful. I'm used to watching myself. Like right now, I'm watching myself on this camera. It's my phone and I have it facing me. And so I can see myself, from the camera's point of view. But I see that view frequently in my mind, coming from different people or different animals or birds or whatever. What does it look like from that angle? How do people perceive this entity as it appears? It's just interesting to me. So I people watch, and I'm my own subject. I'm the one that I'm watching, and it's wild. So these video or these frames, the more I can become conscious of the frame itself, the more it really seems like I am looking out at a reality TV show. And now I'm having a great blast because of the fact that I know that all of this is just relatively real. It's real for the show. Somebody wrote it in the script and here it is. And because I know that that's the deal, right? I've convinced myself that's the deal. I don't know if it is or not. You may have a different experience, but if you're not very happy most of the time, then hey, you might want to try these practices because it's really useful. Anyway, so going back to the Adult Bill of Rights. So not only do you have the right to, work to whatever level you want to work and make the money you want to make and buy all the things you want to buy and hang out with the people you want to hang out with and stuff like that. You also have the right to improve yourself, to grow, to not become static within yourself. And so my recommendation, Kavara, Finn, Cly, and anybody else that wants to watch this, pay attention to what's going on the inside and never stop learning, never stop investigating, running experiments on the inside of your body. What does it feel like? I started off this conversation with mentioning that a friend of mine and I went walking down the street yesterday and in this campground. Well, at one point he turned his head to sneeze, and when he did, he poked his eye with a really sharp sticker on one of these little trees out here in the desert. Everything here tries to kill you or at least doesn't want you to touch it, so it has a thorn or a stinger on it. And he turned around to sneeze and bam, right in his eye, a very pointy thing. And how he kept his eye, I don't know. And he He texted me this morning, says he can still see. But in any case, as an adult, he gets to choose whether or not that was a good thing or a bad thing. I'm certain it was uncomfortable. I've done things like that myself. But it's his choice, you know. It's a choice we have. And so, I don't know where I was going with that. I just got a text, and I forgot to put the phone on Do Not Disturb while I made this video. So right, there we go. I just remember where I was going with that. So anyway, he hurt his eye. Now, what I do when I hurt my eye, and I've done it many times, is I investigate the eye after checking to make sure that I can still see and that it's not, permanently injured or something like that. I investigate the pain. I look for the edges of it, and I look for color and texture, and I run little experiments, like he was saying that his head was hurting behind his eye. So, for me, I would be pressing on different parts of my head, does this affect the feeling? Does this affect the feeling? How about if I press here? Does that affect the feeling of my eye? I don't know. This is the first time I've ever had a nervous system. So I don't know how this sucker works. I've been living in this body for 60 years, and it's been changing on me. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Go and check it out, see what's there. So here's a practice for you I recommend. Look inside yourself and imagine yourself being an alien from another space-time continuum. And suddenly you're beamed into your body. And like I say, I think I've mentioned this in another video, but you're beamed into your body for the first time ever. You suddenly appear in your body in this form. For the first time, you have a nervous system. You have a physical body. What's it like in there? Have you ever investigated what it's like to be living inside of a body? I mean, I'm a little bit tongue-tied. I have what that means is there's a little flap under the tongue, and so some people are so tongue-tied that they can't stick their tongue out. My tongue won't go out very far. I have a friend who's not tongue-tied, and her tongue goes out. As a matter of fact, my daughter could just probably stick her tongue on the top of her head, and I'll always wonder, how in the heck do you get that thing in your mouth? Anyway, so I'm a bit tongue-tied, and I've noticed that if I can get my attention pinpointed enough, one-pointed enough, I can run it back and forth underneath that little flap, and my mouth will just fill with spit, which comes in really handy when you're wandering around the desert without your water bottle. So investigate your body as though it's the first time you've ever been in it. This is the first time you've ever had a nervous system. So I'm going to leave you with a little story. And back in, I don't know where I got this from. It's from somebody else. Sadly, I don't remember names, so I can't give credit where credit's due. All I can do is just say it's not mine. But I've adapted. So there was a Native American chieftain back in the 1800s or 1800s, after trains. And he was a very well-respected chieftain amongst the tribes in the area and amongst the white men, because he was a proponent for peace. He was trying to bring the tribes together and be peaceful and stuff. And so one day he got sick. Now, in this tribe, they believe that when you die, you head west through tunnels to the great ocean. There you live forever afterwards, happy hunting ground type of deal. So he gets sick and he falls into kind of a coma. It's a loose coma. He comes out of it, goes back in, comes out of it. And all the neighboring tribes sent their shaman to try and heal him. Well, they couldn't do it. So they decided to give him to the white man because the white man has strange medicine. Well, the white man, respecting the guy for having tried to, create peace amongst the nations, they put him on a train and they sent him to a clinic on a bluff in LA overlooking the Pacific Ocean. So on the way out there on a train, this chieftain wakes up from time to time. Now remember, this guy is very well respected, so people bow down to him more or less. He's treated very deferentially. And so they ship him out to L.A. and he wakes on the way. He wakes up a couple of times and he notices he's heading west, and then he notices he's going through a tunnel. And when he wakes up from the illness, he's on a bluff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. And so for the rest of his life, he thought he was dead. And people could come up and spit on him, which they tended to do because a lot of prejudice back then. And sadly today too. But people spat on him, and good things happened to him, and this happened to him, and that, and whatever happened to him, he just kind of took it with interest, and he said, well, this is just what this is what happens when you're dead. Okay, now this is how I've adapted that. I spent a hell of a lot more time dead than I have alive. I've only been alive for 60 years. I was dead for billions or something, as far as I can tell. I don't remember my past lives. And even if I did, it'd just be a memory. And so as far as I can tell, I've been dead for for billions of years. And here I am with 60, 70 years, whatever, however many years I got left. I have this time alive. So anything that happens in this lifetime, well, this is just what happens when you're alive. If I'm trying to expect something, well, that's silly. I've never been alive before. I've not had a nervous system before. I've not been in that particular situation before with those people thinking those thoughts. First time. And so anything I think about what's going on, it's just mental masturbation. I'm just, or as someone said, frontal lobe masturbation. I'm not, it's imagination. Literally, it's just imagination, because I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't have that city. I don't have that power, Some things are kind of, I can kind of guess what's going to happen next, but why bother? This is the first time I've been in the, I've never been this old. Not once. As far as I can remember, I have never been this old before. I don't know what's going on. I'm just making this stuff up as I go along. And it's fun to watch. So I highly recommend that you watch it. Watch yourself. And if you want to, come back and watch me some more. And Kavara, Cly, Finn. Yeah, this is who I am. This is how I think. So you get to know a little bit about your grandpa when you get a little older. You'll understand this stuff more. But and anybody else, if you like what you see, if you like the types of things I say, subscribe, like, share, comment. Please comment. I would love to hear your questions. It gives me topics. I want to know what's on your mind. And if I can address what's on your mind, maybe I can say something that'll help you through whatever it is that you're going through. That's my hope. Anyway, that's my sharing for today. May the meaning of the lyrics of Jason Mraz's song, Have It All, be your experience for life. And if you look it up, look for the lyrics. Don't watch the official video until much later. Listen to the lyrics and pay attention to the lyrics, because that's what I'm wishing for you. That's called a meta meditation, is paying attention to that. And I'll tell you how to use that to generate greater feelings of love and compassion in you in another video. So there you go. I'm Shantae, and have a fantastic life.